Hello and welcome to this video. I'm dressed differently, makeup's a little bit different, and that's because I couldn't film all three of my top 10s in one day. It ended up being quite a lot. So I filmed my book and movie top 10s of 2019 yesterday, which I will put a link down to those below so you can watch those as well. But today I am filming and telling you guys about my top 10 TV shows of 2019. I also know that this video is very late. I have explained it in the other videos, but I will also explain it here in case this is your first stop on the top 10 train. But I have tried filming these videos back in January, and they just were not turning out well. I was not liking them, and so I kept just like scrapping them and retrying, and it just got to a point where I was like, okay, I think I need a break. So I took a little bit of a break. I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a better mood to like film and edit YouTube videos again. So, sorry for the little hiatus I went on, but I'm back, I'm here. And I also have been doing these top 10 TV shows lists for a couple years now, so I will put a link down below to all the other past years of favorite TV shows if you want to check those out too. These top 10 TV shows, I have to say, keep changing. I will put a list down below to every single TV show that I've watched in the year 2019, and I know it looks like a long list, but it's actually like the least amount of TV shows I have watched in a year. It was very hard doing this top 10 because there weren't as many to choose from as I usually have, and also I was not liking a lot of the TV shows this year. None of them really like blew me away. So this list has like been constantly changing, and it probably will forever be changing, but just keep that in mind that some of these TV shows may not be great, but they're on the top 10 because there weren't many great TV shows this year. But let's just get right into it, and I always start with my guilty pleasure TV show of the year, and that goes to High School Musical, the series. I love the High School Musical franchise. So does, like, I feel like everyone in my generation and the generation below me all love High School Musical and grew up with High School Musical. The TV show, I was very hesitant, I was very worried. I was like, what if it's not going to be good? And I have to say, the first couple of episodes showed a lot of promise and was like really good, but then it just kept getting more and more and more ridiculous as the episodes went on, until the last episode I was just like laughing at how ridiculous it was. It started off so good and it just got so bad, but I was still really enjoying it, and I'm still really excited for the second season, and the music is really good. That's, I think, the one thing I love the most about the show is the music. So that is my guilty pleasure. Let's move on to honorable mentions. And just like the other videos, I have 5 honorable mentions, and they are going to be in order, so it's like technically I'm giving you my top 15 TV shows of the year. First honorable mention, technically number 15, is Miracle Workers. This is a comedy on TBS. I know they have their new season that I think is already out, the second season, and I will say I thought it was going to be a lot funnier, but it was still pretty funny and a very like interesting concept, and I really enjoyed this storyline a lot. We have God, who is played by Steve Buscemi, and he has decided to blow up Earth, and these like 2/3, one comes along eventually, these like 2/3 angels decide to try to like prove to him that Earth is worth saving and he shouldn't be blowing it up, and they do that by trying to create a miracle. But it turns out to be a lot more difficult than they anticipated. And it is funny, and it's also got Daniel Radcliffe in it, who is phenomenal, so I'm very excited for the second season. My next honorable mention is iZombie Season 5. This is also its final season, and I'm so upset because I love this show. I mean, I don't think it's like fantastic by any means, but it's super enjoyable. And this last season, I cried my eyes out. I really liked the ending though. I thought they did a really great job with the ending of the show. But in case you haven't heard of iZombie follows Liv Moore, who becomes a zombie, but she also is a medical examiner for the morgue. And when she eats the brains, she finds out what happened to them, how they died. So with that, she is able to help the police solve crimes. But I just really love the relationships and the characters that are in this show. My next honorable mention is The Flash season 6. I feel like I have The Flash on here every single year, and that's just because I consistently love The Flash. I'm not a huge superhero person. I don't like superhero movies and stuff, but The Flash I love. And it's not just because Grant Gustin, who plays The Flash, is super hot. That is not the only reason. I honestly think it is so well written. I mean, sometimes I feel like the seasons go on for too long, but season 6 did not feel like it went on for too long. I don't think I need to say anything more about it, just because I feel like I talk about it every single top 10 video. But we're going to move on to the next honorable mention, which is Jane the Virgin, season 5. You're going to see a trend. There are going to be a lot of CW shows on this list. I tend to very much love CW shows. But anyway, Jane the Virgin, season 5, another season finale. And boy, what a season finale it was. Just because of like the cliffhanger that was at the end of season 4, season 5 needed to get here as quickly as possible. And I'm so happy it went well and it did everything justice and everything ended great. And also the big reveal at the end, you know what I'm talking about. The reveal about who the narrator is came out of nowhere. Was not expecting that. This was just another really well-written show. It's kind of written and told like a telenovela, but also still like really grounded in humanity and doesn't get too outlandish or too all over the place. And it's not making a parody of a telenovela either. So my last honorable mention is Schitt's Creek season 5. I think the reason why I have it so low on the list, because usually I would have Schitt's Creek a lot higher, but season 5 was probably my least favorite season. It also, I don't know, it just kind of felt like the same as all the other seasons. So it's like not really anything new anymore, but I still love this show. Do not, like, don't think I don't like it. It's still in my, like, list somewhere. I still love this show very much, and I'm very excited to get to season 6, which is its last season. This show has just really great comedy, great comedic timing as well. A lot of great like one-liners. David's my favorite character. Also, season 5 did give us a little bit Alexis, which is a great song, which has actually now been made into a real song that you can listen to on Spotify, like a full 3-minute length song, which is very exciting, and I have been listening to it. It sounds a lot like Britney Spears. So now it's time for the actual top 10, and at number 10 I have Brooklyn Nine-Nine seasons 1 through 6. I binge watched all those seasons in the year 2019, and I really love the show. It's a little half-hour comedy about a bunch of cops in Precinct 99 in Brooklyn, New York, and it's very funny. It stars Adam Sandberg, Terry Crews. Those are the only people I know by name. All of the characters are great. What I love about the characters, they are, I mean, yes, they're all great, but they're all very different from each other. They all have like one specific thing that like makes them their character, and they like always emphasize that a lot. But they also too are like really great together and have a great like ensemble cast with each other. And it's also super funny. They have some amazing like openings to their episodes. At number 9 I have The Good Doctor season 3. I really love this show. I used to not really like doctor shows, but I've lately been really liking them, and The Good Doctor I think is definitely the best one. We follow Sean Murphy, who is a doctor. He wants to be a surgeon, and so I think he's like a surgeon resident right now, but he is autistic. And I love how they explore that with him not just like communicating with patients, but also communicating with his coworkers. And also in season 3 they added the element of he is dating someone, and so there's also the communication that he has difficulty with navigating that. And I think Freddie Highmore does such a great job. Like, I'm astounded at his acting chops for this role. I've always loved Freddie Highmore, but like this show is like some of his best work. Let's move on to number 8, and at number 8 I have In the Dark season 1. It was a brand new show that came to the CW in the year 2019. I actually don't know if it has a second season. I hope it does. I really liked it. It's not that I was like expecting to not like it, but I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. In this show we follow a blind girl, and she has like a seeing eye dog, and she stumbles upon her friend who has been murdered. She like finds his dead body basically and calls the cops, but since she can't really describe anything and the body somehow disappeared from where she found it, no one really believes her. And it's just her trying to solve what happened to her friend, but then that also like gets her into a mess with some like drug lords. I don't think that's what they're called. But like basically she gets involved in a gang, and not without meaning to, but she's also like becoming friends with the cops. That's like this one cop that's trying to help her, and she also is starting to create a relationship with this one guy, and it's so interesting and fascinating, and I really love this show, and I love the whole mystery aspect of it. I love mysteries, so I kind of am a little biased in that sense, but the mystery in this was so great because I was like, how is she gonna solve this? But also to her as a character, I forget her name, but her character was so fascinating and so complex. It's a great show. I feel like I did a terrible job explaining it and talking about it, but it's so good. At number 7, I have another brand new CW show that I was very surprised with, and that is Nancy Drew. I was not expecting to really like it, but again, I knew I was going to like it just because of the mystery aspect of it, but I did not expect to love it. I love this show. I always look forward to each episode, and I really like that they made the characters more like college age, but they've all decided to like not go to college, these specific characters, because I always hate when they do shows like this and make them all teenagers, and it's like, okay, but what about school? What about all these other things that would not be happening if they were teenagers? So I like that they're actually like a good age, a more realistic age is actually the phrase I want to use. And the mystery and mysteries, I guess, in this one are, oh my god. And I love the aspect of like ghosts with it. It is terrifying at times. I will warn you, if you don't like scary movies like me, there are a lot of scary parts in this because of the ghosts, but surprisingly, it is not taking away from my enjoyment of the show. I'm so happy that I love this show. Again, we're following Nancy Drew. She's solving a murder, but I think like along the way a couple other small little mysteries come up. And I like her friends too. Like George is really fun. Oh, Ace is like my favorite. I love Ace. At number 6, I have another new show. It's not a CW show though, but it's a brand new show, and that is Emergence season 1. Another show I was expecting to maybe like but not love. I thought it was gonna go the way that Manifest did for me, which was like I loved the like first couple of episodes, but then I just lost interest. That did not happen with Emergence though. And you guys, that winter finale, one of like the biggest shocks and biggest like mind explosions that I have watched. I love Jo. Her character is great. Sorry, this show, I should probably be explaining what the shows are about. But this show is, we follow, so we follow Jo, who is the police chief of the town. I don't know what town we're in. She gets called to the beach where there has been a plane crash, and they find one survivor. It's a little girl. She's not like hurt at all, no cuts or scrapes. And then these two people come along trying to pretend to be her parents, and the chief catches on that they are pretending to be her parents. So she ends up taking in the child because there seem to be a lot of people after her. And so she's now tasked herself with protecting this child, and we find out that the child may not be human because she has these like magical abilities or something. But the family all helps like protect her, and she even gets like a journalist that helps uncover things, and now there's like an FBI agent who has joined her task, I guess. Anyway, it's very cool. Now we're on to number 5, and at number 5, I have The 100, season 6. I love the show with my whole entire heart. I know I think every year I always put it in an honorable mention, but that's always because I feel like people, that it's maybe not actually considered like a good show. So I always put it in the honorable mentions even though I want to put it higher, but I decided this year that like screw it. I think it's a genuinely good show. And I look forward to this every year. I'm so excited for season 7. I have to wait till like, I think it comes around like end of spring, beginning of summertime is when the show comes around. But season 6 was, again, really great. I love how like every season I feel like it just gets better and better and better. But I think the 4th season is still my favorite season. Especially with like how season 5 ended. Was so, I swear, this show makes me cry every single season. They're always killing people. You never know what character is going to die within the season. You're like, no characters are safe. Season 6 was interesting with the like villains, I guess. I think that's why I like season 4 so much, because the villain was just nature itself. That was like so interesting. But it was also just like interesting in like, this is a totally different world. All these people have been living such a different life, and their way of life is completely different from what we're used to, so we automatically see that as bad. It was just weird. But I like it. And I definitely want to like binge watch the entire, like rewatch the entire series again before the 7th season comes out, so I definitely want to try and do that. I should probably start now. There are 6 seasons. Number 4, I have A Million Little Things season 2. I am still so astounded at how much I love this show. I remember when it first came out, I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a This Is Us ripoff. It's honestly not. It is, I guess, like This Is Us in a way, in that it tackles a lot of like really deep topics, and it goes deep with those topics. But it also is completely different. I think A Million Little Things also deals with a lot more darker topics than This Is Us. But it's just, again, like, just people living life and all the struggles that they are going through. I will say this show does mainly focus on the topic of suicide. So I guess that is a trigger warning going into this show, if that's something you're really sensitive about. The show starts off with a guy commits suicide, and we follow his friends and his wife and kids and how all of their lives have just been shattered and changed when he did this. And then the 2nd season, there was another attempted suicide by a character, and at least with this one, you like saw the journey of how he got to that point. It was very fascinating, but also too, just like every character is so interesting and so complex, and I love every single one of them, and I just want all of them to be happy. At number 3, I have Downton Abbey season 6. I have watched and rewatched the Downton Abbey series, but I never actually watched the 6th season, the last season, until this year, 2019, because I wanted to do that before I saw the movie, because obviously the movie was going to be following what happened in season 6. And as always, I love Downton Abbey. It's one of my all-time favorite shows, and season 6 was just great. I love Henry Talbot so much. I mean, I will always love Michael Crawley and have like a special place in my heart for Michael Crawley. But Henry Talbot, I think, is a really great replacement. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say, because it was, I don't know, the show just is very consistent. And I don't think season 6 brought anything new, but it was still just as amazing and incredible as all the other seasons. And I just really enjoy getting back to this world and back to these characters. I think they're wonderful, and I just love how like these stories are told and how the show is told. Number 2, I have Prodigal Son season 1. This is a brand new show that came to ABC, and I am truly shocked at how much I love this show. But this show is so dark, but I love it. But we follow a guy who is the son of a serial killer who has been caught and has been away for a couple of years. And the son is now a profiler. He was a profiler for the FBI, but now he is a profiler for a precinct of cops in Brooklyn, I think. They hire him basically because they have a case that is a copycat of his dad's serial killing. And so since he knows his dad very well, he's able to profile and try and like solve the killer, but then they just hire him for like every case. But you also follow his personal life with like his mom and his sister, and how even like, what is it, like maybe 20 years later, how much their dad has like affected them. And he's starting to uncover some memories that he had lost. But it's so addictive. I'm always looking forward to the next episode. I love this show a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm so surprised it's at my number 2, but it is at my number 2. Let's just move on to my number 1. And my number 1 is Stranger Things Season 3. Again, I have Stranger Things on my list, and again, it's at number 1. This is probably, again, another one of my favorite shows of all time. I loved Season 3 for the whole, like, it got neon, and it got bright, and I loved the colors, and I loved, like, the 3 different storylines we're following, and how at the end they all, like, come together. We have, like, the adults, we have the ground group, I don't know what to call them, and then we have the group that's underground with, like, the Russians. Steve Harrington is still my favorite character, by far. We also get the great song in this season. I can't remember what the song is called. Oh, it's The Never Ending Story. The outfits are incredible. I loved, because, like, now the kids are teenagers, and it's really funny seeing them as teenagers and being, like, kind of angsty and moody and also super, like, lovey-dovey. I never know what to expect with this show, so I love that going into every season. I don't know what's going to happen. Also, I was crying my eyes out at the end of this season. I'm not crying anymore just because of a little spoiler about Season 4 has been released, a little teaser. Ugh, so that makes me super happy. Yeah, really, really love the show, hence why it's at number 1. And I think I'm going to stop it here. That is it. Again, also go check out my top 10 books and top 10 movies in 2019, and I will see you guys later with more videos.